Hello everybody and welcome for another episode of Grand Line Gaming. My name is Jason.
And my name is Steven.
Yes, and let's get straight to it. So, we have about, what, 2 more episodes left of this?
I think so. What level are we on now?
Yeah. And when I say left of this, I mean of Kaizoku Musou.
Of course.
So, first let's get into time skip gear. And the last thing we played was the CP9 bosses. So we're up to
That's right.
Sabity. Yay!
Okay. Yeah, this is where it starts to get hot and heavy with the
So we'll play the game.
boss fights.
Will I get a game over in Grand Line Gaming? I hope not.
A Grand Line game over.
That'll be kind of annoying to watch. And here I am going through this for the 10th time. So yes.
Yeah, we had enough of that in Water 7.
Yeah, well, I've never got a game over. I maybe fell and redid action-y things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this is where we get into Kizaru and then Magellan, who, yeah, they're not that easy to fight.
Yeah, I had trouble the first time I fought Magellan, but I think once you understand his pattern and what they want you to do in his fight, it's not too hard.
Yeah, it's just time-consuming, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I kind of like to rush and get through things, so time-consuming doesn't really work for me. Yes, so, what have you been up to, sir?
Well, actually, as it happens, this past week, the last couple of days, I have been cranking out Volume 65 for its very eventual release in paperback from Viz.
How about digitally
so,
too, right? Because I don't think they released 65 digitally yet.
I guess not. Did they? How far did they go with the digital releases?
Last I checked, 64.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's possible that they may do something like that. I'm not, real up to date on the details of all of that stuff. But yeah, I had already done a couple chapters. I think right near the end, we started doing weekly, like a few weeks before Alpha went live. So there are some chapters that I did that I don't think anyone has seen yet.
Okay.
And then there were some that were tests. So it's like, I was translating the volume and I was like, okay, new chapter, old chapter, new chapter, sort of thing. So yeah, there's some kind of annoying sort of figuring out, okay, which term was this again? Like in the Viz version, did I translate this already? Is this something I need to check up on? Blah blah blah. But it's kind of good to get all of that out of the way, and then from here on out, whenever I do the volume stuff, it's pretty much just going to be doing the SBS questions, and that's it.
Now, I know 66 just came out in Japan. Will you still have to re-go through all those chapters just to kind of like refine or touch up on any translations of maybe characters that we know a little bit more about by the time you get to that?
Yeah, I definitely need to check it for, text changes, although, even though Greg has gone through countless, examples of things being changed from the magazine to the volume, I think they tend to be basically like the equivalent of typos or, changing. Sometimes they'll switch around between, kanji and hiragana. I've seen certain series where there are certain things where they change minute details like that, but obviously it's pretty much exactly the same. And in those cases, you probably wouldn't even need to change anything. But I'm not real sure how the because this whole digital weekly thing is sort of new. I don't know if we're going to have a sort of policy on, well, yeah, if you want to change things or rewrite lines that you like better in a different way, looking at it a second time, if that's okay, or if they're going to want it to be more or less consistent with what we had originally, that is a question. And there were certain things like, obviously, as I think was shown in the latest chapter on Shonen Jump Alpha, the thing with the samurai farting, like that was something that we didn't actually catch originally, and it was sort of a late fix. And if we hadn't caught that, that may be the sort of thing that I would have rewritten the old lines when we go back to the volume. But we did figure that out in time.
Right. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Now, 62 just came out in the US physically.
Uh-huh.
So we're kind of pretty close.
Yeah, and I know I've heard. I don't know if it was Misako who said this, or if it was different. Because I just read some interview with Alexi recently that was posted online, and one of them they were talking about how you can't actually have the volumes that close to the Japanese volume release because the whole process always takes 9 months. And there are certain things like the SBS stuff that you can't possibly have that translated before it comes out in Japan.
Right.
So we basically have to start the clock no sooner than 9 months after the Japanese release. So we'll never be all the way caught up there. But
so they don't give you the materials before they even release it.
No.
Ah. That's
in fact, yeah, and I don't think even just because it's such a long term time lag between the two that I don't think even if they were able to do that sort of thing, I don't think it would make a difference to their schedule. They'd just be like, all right, well, we'll just wait for it to come out in Japan anyways.
Right. I got you. All right. So this is as close as we're going to get. I know they're going to start releasing like every other month, so we're going to get a little bit closer, but not that much. Because at least up to volume 64 is labeled as every other month, and we know with Oda's release schedule, it's like 2 months, 2 months, 3 months.
Right.
So there's going to be a little catch-up there. And I know they're starting to go every other month with Bakuman, especially since that just ended in Japan. Actually, not every other month. There's actually one volume a month coming out.
And I'm sure that this is largely just because they started Alpha and they need to get the books with the previous material out so that they can sort of have that jive better with what's being given week by week.
Right. I got you.
What are you doing here in this level, Jason?
Right now I am fighting now Kuma and oh god, what's his name?
Some Sentomaru.
Yeah, Sentomaru. My brain just farted for a moment. I'm trying to also remember this game a little bit because, like I said, I haven't played it in 2 weeks. Because the last time I played this game was actually the last time I played Grand Line Gaming.
Right. Yeah, and this level too, I did a fair amount of grinding on this level with my other characters, and when you play this level with Luffy in the main log, it has a different structure. Like he does some of his stretching sort of shortcut stuff across the map.
Oops. Faced the wrong way. But oh well. So yeah, what did you think of Sabari as the level? Because this one is just like, there's no two parts, it's just this, really.
Right, there's no boss level.
Right.
I really liked the look of the level. Like I thought it has a really nice contrast to a lot of the other levels in the game, and it's kind of hard. Like it's not really annoying in the way that Water 7 is, but there's a lot of bosses. You have to fight like 3 or 4 pacifistas. You have to fight Sentomaru. You have to fight Kizaru, who's a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, Kizaru, as you all will see, is one of our least favorites of the villains.
Yeah, all 3 of the admirals with their Logia powers, they have lots of tricks that they employ against the player that make them, that not only do they hit hard, but they're hard to hit as well, and
Right.
just lots of difficulty dealing with them.
Now, on the bottom of the screen, I'm trying to think, am I supposed to be, like, helping my crew right now, or...
Let's see. Yeah, they want you. Yeah, you can see on the bottom left of the map, you have a flashing territory, and they want you to capture that one.
Oh. Am I gonna lose if I don't?
I don't know if there's a timer on these.
Okay.
This is like, there are a couple levels that are like this, where there are sort of optional bosses. Like, it's not like you need to defeat all of these pacifistas in order to beat the level. Right, but and they're going to wreak havoc on your other party members if they come across them.
Yeah.
And stuff. There's, like, in Marineford, there's a pretty big example of that in the one level where Mihawk shows up, and he is, like, super powered and just incredibly tough, and you're basically just supposed to run past him and avoid him. But you can stick around and fight him if you want.
Especially if you want to, like, level up or get that 100,000 guys. Yeah,
it's sort of an exploitable part of the match, because you have like a 90-minute timer to beat the level, right. And if you manage to beat Mihawk and you just sit in that same area, Marines will basically continually spawn there, and so if you're trying to reach a certain number of KOs for the 100,000 trophy, or if you just want to beat a lot of guys to power up, or to get a bunch of beat points to get more coins in the level, like, that's a great place to sit around and farm, and that's what I use at the very end to help me get the 100,000 KO trophy.
Right. Any questions in the chat?
Yeah, we had one question. Wonders, what games have you been playing recently, Jason?
All right. Well, there's actually a story behind the game I've been playing recently. Recently I've been playing, I got from, one of my friends gave me as a joke for my birthday, the Transformers game War of Cybertron. And the reason why that happened was because at New York Comic Con we did a focus group for, I believe it was Activision, and we got a choice between a few games. Like, one of them was, I think, Call of Duty or something, and then another was Transformers Dark of Moon. So I chose the Transformers Dark of Moon, and it was funny because it was an easy game, and I platinumed it, and all my friends were joking about it. So he's like, here's a real Transformers game for you to try to play. So that's what I've been playing recently. But I haven't been spending that much time on games, just because the past few weeks have been really con-focused for me, for conventions.
Yeah, that's right. You've been traveling all over the place on the weekends.
Yeah. So just so you know, right here is we got into the part of the game where Kuma is now separating the crew, and each person is, right, I guess, supposed to be technically running for their life, but Robin's job right now is to protect Nami and get this area.
Yeah.
So what games have you been playing recently, Steven?
Well, let's see. I don't know. I don't think I've been playing much new since the last few weeks. I did play a lot of Fez, the sort of 3D perspective shifting platformer.
How was that?
It's a lot of fun. I really like it. It's sort of weird because it's not much of a platformer, really, like, compared to classic Mario games, for example. It's not very hard at all. It's more of a it's a puzzle game, and it's a puzzle game like in the sense of not just solving puzzles, but like solving codes and finding clues and figuring out what it all means. And so it's a really weird game. And I got. Well, it's one of those things where you beat it, and then like once you beat it, then like the second half of the game starts, and it's way harder. And I got into that part, and I haven't played it in a couple days, so
yeah,
I'm a little bit stuck on it there. But No, it's a good game. I like it a lot, and the music is fantastic.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll check that one out.
But it's Xbox only.
Oh, then maybe I won't check that out.
Yeah.
Alright, where am I supposed to go now? Yeah, okay, so this is where a certain part of the level opens up that only Luffy could get to. Where, you know, there's some action-y platforming shenanigans.
Right. You have to.
Because I gotta get to
Up there.
Kizaru, right? I should probably check where Kizaru is. Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Alright, so, Kizaru is a pain in the butt to fight because he never stands in one place.
Yes, he will constantly spam his teleporting powers, and a lot of his attacks has his attack animations. Even if he's not hitting you, like he's basically invulnerable.
Right. Oh, there's his introduction scene, which was a little bit delayed.
Yeah, that's. I don't understand why that keeps happening. Maybe it has something to do with all of the, what the dialogue stuff that it has to go through before it can, tell you that you finished the mission or that the mission started or whatever. But they always start the entrance video late.
Right. See, I was trying to keep him occupied until I, cleared this area. Oh god, all his health is back now too? Really?
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, you... Kizaru, you garbage person, you.
Garbage fruit.
We'll see that eventually.
It's bound to come up.
Yeah.
All right, we had a question here. For the next possible game,
Uh-huh.
which other characters would you like to see playable, and which returning characters would you look forward to see?
Yeah.
I would assume, as far as returning characters, that if they're already in the game, you might as well keep them in the game. I don't know.
Right.
I guess it depends on if they want you to actually use all of them. If you start getting sort of character fatigue, where there are too many
Right.
that control too similarly. But I don't know. Let's see, because there are definitely. I think I would like to see some villains playable, just because as far as characters that have lots of moves and would be interesting characters to use as fighters, would be cool. Some of the guys in this game even.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see, obviously, Enru and all of those guys in the next game.
Yeah.
I would, definitely like to see Thriller Bark, just because, I could see all the zombies being fun to plow through.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think,
they seem custom made for a game like this.
Yeah, how about, Oars? Has there ever been, a giant character in...
Not really. They did in the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games. They did have some large scale enemies. Not as big as Oars in relation to your character, but you had to do certain things to damage them and make them vulnerable to attack, which was okay. Sometimes it was annoying, but I think it could work. And if you think about the way that they orchestrated certain fights in this game, like the fight against Akaine, which we'll see at the end of the game, I think they could definitely
A lot of,
do a special, even if it doesn't really resemble the other boss fights in the game, I think they could do a special one-off thing where it's sort of like a classic Super Nintendo era video thing where it's just Or's giant face taking up the whole screen and you're running around beneath him, or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool.
a lot of QuickTime events, really.
Yeah, I mean it's basically what most of that boss fights here are like.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'm just a little bit distracted because I hate Kizaru.
Yeah.
which I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, and he moves around in this level, doesn't he?
Yeah, you got to pretty much fight him like on all four corners of the map,
Ugh.
and he destroys your other guys. So you got to just say screw,
Right.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
you can't mess around.
Yeah. Up. Yeah. So right now, if I just like let him be, Brooke would be like, "Bye." Oh my God.
Yeah, I
hate
know.
you.
I've told the story on the stream a few times of how when you're forced to keep chasing Kizaru around like this, and he's beating up your guys, like you can save partway through the levels and then restart from there if you lose.
This is
And
not cool though, because he's in this like little area where where is he? See, he's like in this like little area right here where it's like, how do you want me to fight you like this?
Yeah.
Alright, stay on this part of the level. My God.
And I would keep running up to him, you know, when he was down to his last bit of health, and he was like destroying Brooke, who was almost dead. Like he just needed one hit, and I kept on running up to him, just around the corner, just in time to see him like kill Brooke, like boom, like slow motion. Brooke falls down and dies, and I had to, would have to reload and rush as fast as I could, and then be there just in time to see him kill Brooke again. And so yeah, it was really annoying.
I just freaking beat the guy.
There you go.
Oh my God. Alright, so what other questions do we have?
See, someone was wondering if Whitebeard is considered a giant or just a huge man. They don't refer to him as a giant. I guess he just sort of falls into Oda's spectrum.
I think he's just a huge guy because we've seen him face the giants, and the giants are a lot bigger than him.
Yeah. And he is, as far as playable characters go, he's definitely the biggest in the game. And there are actually times where you're playing him, and he's so big that he's like covering up most of what you can see, and it's actually kind of hard to control him. Because you can't see your target on the other side of his body.
Right. So, crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yep.
So yeah, I gotta say this cinematic looks really nice. I can't believe like how much detail they put into the straw hat. Cause it really looks like it stands out. Because of just how detailed they make Luffy's straw hat. Because they make it more like brownish like the manga does, instead of like the bright gold color that the anime does.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we really can't say enough about how awesome the fully pre-rendered cinematic scenes are in this game.
Alright, cross your fingers. Damn.
Still in search of that
Doflamingo coin. It's
that
kind of
long-lost coin.
ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous if you think about it. It's the same thing. So, yeah. Avengers, made me eat a lot of shawarma. Yes, it did. Last night was, shawarma kind of book-ended the evening for me. I began with shawarma, then celebrated Cinco de Mayo, then a little bit of Seis de Mayo, and then more shawarma. It was funny because, like, after midnight, the DJ was still being like, "Happy Cinco de Mayo." I actually walked to the DJ. I'm like, "Excuse me, pardon me. Just to be correct here, it's currently Seis de Mayo." So, yeah. He was like, "That's true, but, the celebration's for Cinco de..." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, but, facts are facts." Why not? Anyways, did you enjoy a sober evening or a non-so?
Yeah, I had a softball game this morning at 9 o'clock, so I had to be up, although there were members of the team who called in sick, so to speak. But yeah, I spent a quiet Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, there you go. Probably for the best. Because there's a lot of people with not so efficient IQs walking around at that time. At least on the train going home, you don't want to deal with that, really.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing, we don't even really have public transportation in California, so I don't ever have to worry about
and just to be clear, I wasn't celebrating a nonsensical holiday like Cinco de Mayo. I was celebrating Luffy's birthday. There we go.
Yeah, that's right. A real holiday.
Yes, a real holiday. What holiday is that in Golden Week? May 5th?
I'm not sure.
Oh. Anyways, yes. So here we are now in Impel Down. Impel Down. And we start on level 1. And so this level, again, it switches between like action parts and all that.
Jumping and falling off of things parts.
Yes. I forgot if I had to time any of this, but whatever. Now I know there's like some steam that happens here. Oh, there's lasers here. Haha, that was close.
Just some lasers.
Yeah, just some
standard prison outfitting.
Yeah. At least it's more Hey, look, a big red button. It's more sensical than like the spikes in frickin' Water 7.
Yeah. Spikes in the falling hammer things on the waterway.
Yes. Now everybody knows what we were talking about that level. Not so much fun. So yeah. So what other questions do we have? May 5th is what?
Kodomo no Hi, that's Children's Day.
Alright, Children's Day. That's what it was. Okie dokie. So, now that I press the big red buttons and open my way, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes you have to be like in a specific area. Yeah, I don't play the action stages that much over and over.
Yeah, they're not very much fun to repeat.
Yeah, I like how there's like always a little sound to let you know that you got a puzzle correct.
Get a little reward.
Yeah. This is pretty fun. It's like just have like one model and then just split it between 2 panels.
Yeah.
So
there's a character they should definitely have playable.
Yes,
Buggy.
Buggy, I think they wanted to, they just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he'll be like the last DLC, like unlock playable Buggy with his pirate outfit, his Impel Down outfit, and his marine outfit.
Of course, if they're charging 300 yen for a costume, who knows what they will charge for an actual extra character.
Yeah. Well, speaking of DLC...
$15.
Speaking of DLC, they packaged the first 10 DLC contents together. So...
Yeah, I believe that's all the DLC.
Huh?
I think that's all the DLC.
Oh, it's only the first 10 right now?
No, I mean, I don't think there's going to be another 10 or another any. I think that's it.
No, I think
that's
there's
usually
going to be more.
That's usually the Japanese style, is rather than having in the US we sort of have day one DLC stuff that you get with pre-order bonuses, or if you buy it from a certain retailer, you get a code for some new DLC, and then 2 months later or so they'll start to release DLC packs, or even later. But in Japan, it tends to be directly following and it's on like a weekly schedule, basically to prolong the the used game market as long as possible, to make you hold on to it, because it's a lot different. Retail in Japan for video games is a lot different than in America, and when a game doesn't do well, they don't have a lot of storage space to keep retail copies around, so they just cut prices on games like that. And so basically their DLC cycle in Japan tends to be lots of little things that they can dole out on a weekly basis, and then after the 3 months or so are up, then that's basically it. And so the fact that they put all of the DLC packs together into one big purchase tells me that that's probably it.
Oh, I thought they would have more like stronghold costumes or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
On the other hand, if they're charging $3 a pop essentially for costumes, like as a consumer, if you've already committed to buying all of the costumes or whatever, like how far do you really want them to go if they're going to keep charging that much?
Right.
Because they could do endless costumes just
Especially
by mining.
in One Piece.
Right, just by mining all of the color covers that Oda does. There are dozens of them that he can use to
Well, now
get outfits.
Onward to level 2.
Yep.
Oh man. So yeah, it's kind of interesting because Impel Down is split into between 2 different levels, which is one is kind of going down and the other is like the escape.
Yeah, and the escape one, I that part where you have to run towards the camera from the onrushing.
Yeah.
I forget. Was that a giant ball like in Indiana Jones, or was that like a poison thing from
That was
Jones?
the poison thing. From
Yeah,
Jones.
that was a pain in the ass. Of course, it was made tougher because I was trying to get the chest that
Yeah,
was
the coin
along the
chest.
way.
Yeah.
But even still, those are always annoying.
Yeah, and I think it was one hit and you actually did get a game over, right? Or no?
No, you would start back at the beginning of it, but it took me like half a dozen tries to get it, because it's one of those things where you're running towards the camera, and of course there's all these obstacles that they want you to jump over or run around the side of it, and you can't see them until they're right in front of you. So you basically, if you want to get the chest and totally avoid having to restart it, then you basically have to memorize what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's when I was naive and thought that the chest actually mattered.
Right. That it was actually going to give you a useful coin.
Yeah, I like swinging on parts of Buggy, and now I'm going up. Up. Chest. Maybe this will be the Doflamingo coin. Ha! No.
Yeah. Did you play this level during the 24-hour event? Someone is asking.
I played the 2-player version of this, the online versus with Greg, actually.
So you didn't actually show off all of the action stuff?
Right. So I believe... Who the frick was I? I think I was maybe Jinbei and he was Luffy. I think he was just trying to max out his Luffy or something.
Yeah.
Alright. Mission complete. It's like, alright, you defeated all the guys. Yes, the door opened. So here we see all the spiky needles. Bloody needles, right?
Yes.
Oh, son of a... I forget... Those going around things are a pain because you have to, like, press it at, like, one specific point.
Yeah.
So... There we go. And it's weird with anything that drags you across, sometimes you have to jump off of it, and sometimes you go off of it automatically. It's kind of inconsistent.
Yeah. I guess the good thing you can say for it is that even if you fall off, the penalty is not very severe. It's just kind of an annoyance.
Right. So, here we fall down. And press square. Alright. So now we're down to level 2.
We have a question. Are you guys uploading any more videos of anime fans give back?
Yeah, Zach is doing that. He's in the middle of testing stuff for law school, so just expect a little bit of a delay.
Right. At least until he gets back to the podcasting stuff, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Oh.
Here we go. Dodge these lasers where you can't jump. Because there's no jump button in this game.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten hit yet. Alright. I just...
You know, it would be very Luffy-esque to just, like, not even pay attention to lasers and run straight through them and somehow miraculously not get zapped.
Right. I guess it's part of the time skip ability.
That's right.
And when in doubt, press circle. So yeah, man. So do you think the second one will sell as well as this one, or not as much?
I don't know. I think it probably depends on what they do for the game. Like, I think if it looks like it's basically the same, you know, with maybe a few new stages and a few new characters, then I don't really think so. But if they, you know, if they show it off and it really looks like, you know, this is Pirate Warriors 2.0, like,
right,
you know, vastly improved experience, then they may sort of regain some of the goodwill that I think they lost with the, you know, the DLC stuff and you know, just the general incompleteness of the package here.
Luckily, all the DLC stuff hasn't been like a, oh my god, I'm missing out stuff. Though,
right.
I feel kind of gypped that there were like only, what, 2 challenges that we got?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they had included a few more of those, and you could sort of get a better sense of what they can offer, and say, okay, that was pretty cool, and I like the one where you do this, so maybe I'll try out some more. But you know, if they just have like the one, like I tried, I don't think I ever beat one of them because the first time I tried it, I was not high enough leveled, and you know, I just never even bothered to try it again.
Yeah,
after
you
that.
don't gain
like,
anything from it.
I don't really care.
Yeah. Same here. I beat both of them, but that's because my characters are ridiculously powerful. Oh, I never really looked at that picture before of Hannibal.
Yes.
Only because like the first time I went through it, I was just so busy like fighting people that I didn't have time to wait around for dialogue to finish.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's definitely a tunnel vision type of game. You just get into the zone.
Right. And then you so here we have the toilet.
Ah, yes. Good stuff.
Come on.
I like that it's so huge. Like even if Magellan was using that, he would be like a little baby using the adult toilet.
Well, they had to make it level size.
I guess so.
Hey, maybe this will be a Doflamingo coin. Ha, ha. No.
If it shows up, you know it was from that special chest.
Uh-huh. Yeah. My head didn't even look like it hit the thing and it still worked. Okay. I think we're almost up to... Oh, here, I think the Minotaurus.
I love the Mr. 2 Zoro. Zoro face.
There you go. Yes. Wow. Oh man. So, yes. We're just
What else is
watching,
new?
aren't we? Yeah, what else is new? I don't know. I saw Avengers again and again.
Are you watched it a second time?
Yeah, I watched it a second time. I also got someone thrown out of the theater.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the thing is, the theater was packed, and someone came in late, and they were upset because the only seats that were available were like those shitty ones in the front. So, with 3D movies, I always sit in the back because you get the most depth with a 3D movie.
Yeah.
So, someone decided, I was on the corner, like, right by the middle of the staircase, so someone decided that they were going to sit on top of the stairs. And I'm like, fine, I don't care, whatever. But then they started taking their phone out as soon as the movie began. And I'm like, no, 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 no. So I said, may you please shut your phone off? He says, no. He's like, are you serious, bro? I'm like, yes. Turn your phone off. He's like, no. I'm like, look, I've seen this movie already. I have no problem telling you that I will actually get up from my seat, find someone, and have you kicked out of here. I have seen the movie before. A minute's not going to kill me this time. And he's like, tell me to shut my phone off again, and I'm going to punch you in the face.
Yeah, like that's not going to get you kicked out of the theater.
So, guess what I did? I got up, I went down, and I said, hey, someone has their phone out, and they're also sitting on the top of their staircase. So, yay. So I went back to my seat. Person came and said, look, you can't sit here. And brought him outside. I think she might have sat him down in the front, but I know originally he wanted a refund, but I saw them come back in the theater. I don't think they could get a refund because it's like, look, you paid for your tickets. There are seats. You're just not choosing to sit in them.
Yeah.
So I think he had to sit all the way in the shitty front of the theater. But it worked.
That's what happens when you don't show up on time.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for a popular movie like that that's sold out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're going to see it the first day, then
Yeah.
you got to be prepared.
Yeah. This is like the second time I've gotten into an argument, like, in the theater. The first time was when I went to see Tron Legacy, which I had also seen already because of a free movie screening.
How is it that you get that, the free movie stuff?
I'm just awesome. No, I go to these websites that have the options and have the links for you to fill out.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
And is that, I mean, are you sort of like what is the benefit? Why do they have these things? Is it like a testing thing or like focus?
Some of it is a focus kind of thing. Like sometimes they'll like have a movie a few months before it comes out. Like there was just one for Red Dawn, and that movie I don't think comes out until like September or something.
Uh-huh.
So it gives them time to change it a little bit, but
Yeah.
also, word of mouth help make it popular.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, I gotta start paying attention here. But
Oh yeah, here we go. The tricky part of the Magellan battle.
Oh shoot! Oh shoot! But one of the things that happened when I saw Tron Legacy, and I'll try to tell the story and not die, is pretty much the guy next to me started taking his phone out, and I was like, I leaned over, I'm like, excuse me, could you shut your phone, really? And he's like, no! Again, why? Why? It's a movie theater, why? So, what happened then was, God, I'm trying to remember the story as I try to beat this guy. Basically, I'm like, look, turn your phone off, please. He's like, no. Then he starts shining it in my face.
Wow.
And because I told him already, like, look, I've already seen the movie. I'll get you kicked out. Except I was in the middle of the row, so I didn't really want to do that. Because then you have to interrupt a bunch of people. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm sitting on the corner, that's one thing. But so pretty much, Haha, juggling. But, so next what happened was... Oh, shoot. Was, he started shining in my face, so I leaned over to him, and I said, "Wow, you really are a jackass." And he just stared at me. Like, for a good minute.
The problem is that anyone who is actually going to take out their phone in the middle of a movie is not going to be nice enough to shut it off if you tell them, because they're already that much of a dick already.
Right. Yeah, so, I don't know. He just stared at me for a minute, and then he didn't take out his phone again.
Maybe he thought about it really hard.
I think there's something missing from the story. I said, "Wow, you really are a jackass," and he's like, "Yes, yes, I am."
Yeah, exactly. Like he stared at you, and he like thought it over in his head, and he's like, "Oh, he's right."
Yeah. I don't know. I told that story a lot better on what was it, episode 25 of that anime show.
Oh, you even know the episode number and everything.
Yeah, it was the episode of the One Piece podcast. So if you want the full story, go there. Because that was, what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, Tron came out a few years ago.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so in this part of the Magellan fight, obviously you saw battery issues as well.
Yes. After I beat him, I'm going to have to plug it in.
Danger on all sides. Yeah, you have to, first you have to use the, I guess, what are they, like pillars?
Yeah, the logs, and because he makes himself fully poisoned, so you got to knock him back with that.
Yeah, and then you have this thing where, he shoots out his poison dragons, like all throughout the arena, and you have to basically hop up on those platforms to get close to him.
Alright, I will be right back. Entertain them. I am going to try to plug in my controller. Yeah.
Alright. That is probably my least favorite thing about the PlayStation, is how short the default controller recharge things are, because it's exactly long enough to, as compared to the distance between where my TV is and where my couch is, that I can't actually sit back on the couch if it's plugged in and use the controller. I have to lean forward and hunch over while it's going, and it is really obnoxious. Like it's just long. Like if it was any shorter, then I would just have to say, okay, well, I'll just have to sit on the floor, or I'll have to recharge it while it's doing something else, while I'm not actually playing the game. But it's just in the right spot. If I have to basically kill my back to keep using it.
Yeah, luckily mine is close enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so at least it's a movie anyway, so right now, little cinematic. What did I miss? That was interesting.
Luffy got slimed.
Oh, I mean conversation-wise, but anyways. Let's see. But, yeah. No, I cause trouble in movie theaters a lot sometimes. I don't like people who take out their phones.
It's bad move.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Really foul.
The little blue light is annoying as hell. I remember I used to do mini reviews for like a movie site or whatever, and I had to go see The Mummy 3, so I wasn't excited for that one.
Oh yeah, great movie, I'm sure.
Because I got my ticket, and then when they rip your ticket and they're like, enjoy the movie, I was like, you and me both know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
let's level with each other right there. I'm doing this because I have to. So I get in, and then right away, person 4 or 5 rows in front of me takes out his phone and like holds his phone up to like text.
Wow. Like he can't hold it in his lap.
Right. So I crumple my ticket, and I have no idea how this worked. I actually threw it and hit the guy directly square in the back of the head. He never took out his phone again. I did not see any blue light come from his vicinity.
Yeah, you're just a manners assassin in the movie theaters.
I am. I am the theater police.
Yeah. I think the worst... No, I haven't seen like a movie, because it seems like these days, whenever I do see a movie, it's usually like after the first week or so.
Probably.
And it seems like no matter when I go, it's always, it's literally like 6 people in the theater. But the last time that I saw a movie that was really packed and it was really obnoxious was I actually saw Snakes on a Plane, like I think the second or third day that it was out or something like that.
Who didn't?
And oh yeah, no kidding. But there was like this group of guys that was there, and I don't know. I mean, it may have been like the first day or something like that, because it was sort of like, oh yeah, I guess that opens today, and we needed to kill some time. Mm-hmm. So we went there, and there were these guys that literally knew like half of the catchphrases in the movie and like when they were coming up, and they were just shouting them like as the scene was going on.
Wow.
And it was really weird. I mean, it was a bad movie, obviously, so it didn't necessarily impact. I didn't feel like the magic of
Snakes on a Plane.
Right, all the ironic bad CG of Snakes on a Plane was lost, but
yeah. But oh, that's interesting to see the time skip Luffy. But anyways, no, that's interesting. It's like they invested that much time into it, really?
Yeah.
All right, moment of truth here. No, nada, no Doflamingo. But first time I saw Avengers was like, they did a limited fan screening like April 14th, so it was like a month ago, a little less than a month ago. And everybody was like just so into it that they were shouting so much where it's like you can't actually hear some of the lines in the movie.
Wow.
That's why I went to see it a second time, like day one. It's like, now I get to hear some of the lines. But I mean, everybody was just into it. It made the movie fun. It really did make it fun, like to go with a crowd that's energetic.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like necessarily a focus group testing, because I would think you wouldn't want like guys who are going to scream their heads off for the movie to be your focus group, because you're probably not going to get a very accurate an accurate slice of the movie-going population.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think they just want to be, did we appease to the fanboys? And
yeah.
Yes, they appeased to a lot of people. Avengers, I will say, even with the second screening I went to, the most fun I've had in a movie in a very long time. Easily the most fun I've had in a movie.
Ever?
At a movie theater? Maybe. It was really fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That seems cool. Yeah, I'm usually one of the I mean, I like, yeah, someone said I love energetic crowds in the chat, and I kind of like that too, but I guess it sort of depends on what sort of mood you're in. Like, I'm sure if it's the right movie and you go with a bunch of people that like it, sort of like
Avengers
when they
is totally that.
Yeah, when you do like classic movies where everyone they say, okay, we're doing a midnight showing of whatever, like the theaters that do Rocky Horror Picture Show or stuff like that,
to that so bad.
Where you go and like people are dressed up and you obviously all there because you already love the movie, and it doesn't matter if people are all saying the lines because everyone's seen it a million times and they're just there to sort of have this communal event. That seems cool.
Yeah,
like
gather
that
around,
really
throw
fun.
some rice, squirt some water guns. It's fun.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, but no, it's good stuff. Yeah. But no, I mean, even if you haven't seen like Captain America, Thor, and all those, Avengers is still a fun movie. It's also written by Joss Whedon, so
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of people, probably a fair number of people who would not have been interested in that movie anyways that would go see that just because they're huge Joss Whedon fans.
well, a lot of people are saying, I wonder how many people are now going to become Joss Whedon fans because of this movie. And people say, like, you know how a fan base usually has two eras? Like, one before something and one after something?
Right.
Someone says the Whedon-esque crowd or the Whedon fans, you're going to have the pre-Avengers and then post-Avengers.
It's definitely the biggest profile thing, because I guess, Buffy was probably the biggest single thing that he was involved with before this.
Right.
Probably, in terms of, like, mainstream recognition.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a pretty big leap.
Speaking of leaps, we just take another leap into the second part of Impel Down.
I did not mean to do that, but
Yeah.
sometimes.
Alright, let's fight these guys. So, yes, Impel Down once again. So yeah. By the way, movie trailers give away too much. That's the great thing about screenings, is I don't really see any trailers.
Yeah.
But like I went and like I had to like close my eyes during the Prometheus trailer just because I felt like, wow, really?
There were a lot of people that said it was given away. I mean, obviously, unless you've seen the movie and you know exactly what happens and what it's all about,
Right.
you can't necessarily say that it's spoiling too much or not giving away enough.
But it feels like it's spoiling too much. So
Yeah.
that's why I closed my eyes. My friends and I... Alright, so we went over this last time, but we saw the Dark Knight Rises trailer.
Mhm.
I could not stop laughing at this movie. Well, first of all, I'll give Nolan credit. They did fix Bane's voice.
Uh-huh.
The problem is that it didn't sound like it was coming from the movie or him at all. It sounded like it was a complete overlay. Now that
just like bad ADR.
yeah, now that may just be the way that the trailer was edited.
Right,
And I'm
right.
hoping it was, because it really didn't fit at all. It just felt like the audio was like on top of everything.
Right.
But
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a fair amount of sort of weird splicing with trailers.
But like we said before, like, I saw Batman Begins. I didn't care for it. It wasn't like... it didn't capture me as, like, the fun superhero comic book movie. It felt like more like the cop movie. Like, we discussed a gritty cop movie. And I've seen a lot better gritty cop movies before. So it didn't win in that field either for me. But, I don't know. I think I may give The Dark Knight a chance, maybe sometime this week. I have a friend who wants to lend it to me, and I think I'm in a way where it's like, alright, let's just see what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I found recently, because there were a couple movies that I've seen like in the last year or so where it was something where like maybe my roommate got the disc from Netflix and was like, hey, I got this in my queue. You want to watch this? And like I don't even know what it's about. And I'm like, okay, well let's just watch it. And like when you don't even know like the one sentence, summary that describes the general premise of the movie, like it really changes the way that you see the movies. Like one of them that I saw was The Lovely Bones that Peter Jackson did a few years ago.
right.
I'm not sure if that was before or after King Kong, but and that's about like this serial killer kills this girl, and the rest of the movie is about her family sort of trying to figure out what happened. And of course, it starts off with like this lovely family life and everything's happy, and then and then the girl ends up dying in the first 15 minutes of the movie or whatever, and I was just like, oh no, this is what's gonna happen, oh my god. And I was like totally shocked by it, but
I mean,
yeah.
that's the great thing with movie screenings. I have seen a lot of movies blindly before.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. One of the movies I saw last year, which ended up being one of my favorite movies of last year, was Warrior, which is like the UFC kind of movie with the two brothers. And
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
the thing is, I thought it was going to be absolute junk. I didn't see any trailers for it, but I read a premise. And, I mean, without... actually, all I knew was that it's like, two brothers compete, UFC kind of thing. Sure, whatever. I saw the movie, and it was just really well done. And I saw a trailer afterwards, and it's like, I don't think I would have seen the movie if I had seen the trailer.
Right. Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah. Because, I mean, with trailers, it's all about what crowd you want to appease, and sometimes the crowd you want to appease turns off other people. So, yeah, I mean, you know what was actually a surprisingly decent movie? Real Steel. The Knock'em Sock'em.
I did hear people saying that.
Yeah.
That it... And it was probably the same thing. Like, I looked at it and I was like, okay, Knock'em Sock'em Robots? Like, no, I'm not going to watch a movie about that. But then, like, I heard from people saying, if you get over, like, the goofiness of the concept, like, if you removed all references to the robot thing, like, that type of movie of, like, father and son bonding and working together sort of thing, like, it does all of those things really well.
It did. It really did. I gotta say, I was really surprised by that movie, because I went in with that, like, I am going to hate this movie. This is going to be worse than Conan remake. This is going to be bad. And then I saw it, and I was like, wow. I'm surprised. And I think, like, when you're older kind of thing, I think if they marketed it more towards parents, they would have done a lot better with that movie. Because it feels like a movie where if you're like a father and you see that movie, you'll just connect with it. But, yeah. So, yeah. It's really interesting movies these days, because they do tend to give away a lot, which is sad.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like when it costs so much, especially for, big budget films, when it costs so much to, make the movie and promote it, it's sort of like, you can't just, like, hide all of the best shots and the best visuals and things like that in the movie and not put them in the trailer because, they need as many people as possible to see the movie to recoup all their costs and all of that.
But I think that's what, I think Real Steel's a perfect example of why they do early movie screenings, because they wanted that word of mouth to get out. Like, look, it's not this knock'em sock'em garbage. They actually did good by it. But, yeah. So now we get Blackbeard.
Yeah. That's another character that would be good for playable in a sequel.
Yeah, so, right.
Although he's not really that hard in this game. No. I mean, you only fight him the one time. You don't really ever fight him on the, like, multiplayer, another mode maps.
Yeah, he's in another log a lot.
Oh, he is?
Well, on the Marineford levels, he's in all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't play many of them. Well, see, the thing is, most of the Marineford levels are, they're on the shorter, campaigns. Like, basically, every character has their own, campaign in another log mode, and the difficulty and, like, the experience that you get is based on what number level that is for that character. So, for example, like, if you play as Whitebeard, he only has one level, Marineford.
Right.
And that will give you way less experience, and it'll be way easier than if you play, like, Arlong Park with Zoro or something.
Right.
In Zoro's campaign, I should say. And so, like, and because Marineford, it doesn't involve any of the other Straw Hats. Like, it's all, Ace or, Jimbei and Whitebeard and Hancock. It's basically like a super easy level for all of their characters, so you can't even really play it with the difficulty that they probably should have, and you don't get as much experience, fewer rewards, and all of that. So I basically never played them on the another log mode.
By the way, any questions that we've missed? I think I saw a few.
There were,
and then we started talking about movies.
Right. Yeah, maybe we put the movies aside for a little while. There were some questions for me about translation stuff. Someone asked, how fun is it to translate Ivankov's lines with all of his weird Japanese pronunciation? Well, I don't actually have to do that because, well, at least until he pops up into the story again. I think I used to, translate for myself, just do my text translations years ago, and I actually originally stopped right around Impel Down because I was getting One Piece fatigue, and there, was sort of a turning point in my career sort of thing. I didn't really want to waste any time or any effort on stuff that wasn't work related. Okay. So I did a lot of weird stuff. Like I know that he tends to get sort of like German or Russian. Yeah. Oh God, this part.
Yeah, really quick. I just want to say this is the part where I got to dodge lasers, and let's see if I could get this treasure chest Steven was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh nope, not gonna happen. Oh.
And yeah, it was really hard for me to sort of figure out.
So you do get a game over as soon as you die on that. So yeah, that's like a one-shot thing.
Oh yeah, I guess I must have saved. Yeah, well, I saved regularly when I was doing on the middle levels when I was doing,
right.
This part of the game. But yeah, so I didn't really have to deal with most of his stuff. When I was busy translating before, and hopefully I won't have to do too much of it in the future. Although, I'm sure he'll get his cameos here and there as the series goes on. Let's see, what are questions we had? Will there be a podcast tomorrow with everyone? Well, I'm sure Jammer will have a Podcast West thing going on.
I'll be on again if work allows it. That's how it usually goes.
Right, because you obviously were in Chicago this time?
No, yeah, I mean, the thing is, we record on Mondays because we record with the latest Shonen Jump Alpha chapter.
Yeah.
Now, and, sometimes with work, if I have to stay late, that happens.
Oh! I thought you were going to go over the con.
Oh, we already recorded that part.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well, there should be a podcast.
Yeah, there'll be a podcast tomorrow. I don't know who will be on, but we usually never do before we record it.
Yeah, that's right. When you have so many people who have wildly different schedules and things, it's always kind of just here's the host is here, so let's see who else is online and who's available, and then sort of play it by ear.
Yeah. All right, what other questions we got?
Let's see. Someone asked, can you also understand Japanese voices or just words? I'm not sure what exactly that means.
Basically,
can I speak and hear fine as well as I can read?
No, I think it means like, do you have a problem when there's audio kind of thing? And I hate this part. Okay. Yeah.
No, I don't really have an issue with listening. I did used to basically before what I did to help get my hearing recognition better is I started downloading not anime, because anime specifically, they're reading lines, and it's a very different sort of thing than actual, the way that people actually talk. Mm-hmm. But I found, basically torrent sites where they just have like live or in the studio comedy shows and variety shows and things stuff like Hokotate that Greg was on.
Right.
And especially if you are watching comedy stuff where they talk really fast, it's definitely good training, and I definitely got much better audio recognition by doing all that, and now I can pretty much follow along just fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, to clarify, yes, it is the Doflamingo coin. That's the only one I'm missing, of course, because Doflamingo's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because he doesn't appear in the game, so there's no way to get an easy
Right. So
high probability.
here we have Luffy with his wax armor, and this is a little bit of a fun fight.
Ah, yes. Sparkles in his eyes.
Wait, he doesn't have his time skip outfit with these. I guess they didn't model it.
Yeah. Now the continuity is just all off. We're supposed to believe that Luffy is no longer time skip Luffy.
Right.
Somehow gone back in time to regular Luffy.
Well, I think it's because you could only use rifle. Because you can't even charge it in this.
Yeah. Whenever you see something you don't understand, a wizard did it.
Yeah, well the thing is, I tried holding to charge to gear second and it just kept doing rifle. So, yeah. But this is a fun little fight. I actually kind of enjoy this for whatever reason.
Well, it helps that Magellan kind of sucks. Just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Now he has his time skip outfit back. We found something the QA team did not.
Yeah, that's right.
How dare they not experiment using a TARDIS and traveling back to kick everybody's butts. Oh. I forgot I had to press square. That was the first time I had to do that today. Because usually at the end of every level you have to tap square relentlessly.
Yeah.
I got battery challenge. AAA.
I heard that the green data book confirms Sabo dead. Is that true? That is not true.
No. Because Sabo's alive.
Yep. Sabo was killer. Come on, guys. Haven't you guys been paying attention?
I know, right? So, yeah. So, here we go. I'm just watching.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
Yeah, the big even cup head. Luffy has his yellow ankle down shirt now. Continuity's all off.
Yeah.
We're calling it.
Oh, he's got his changing room with him at all times.
Yeah. Well, all right. So next week, should I do the video game ending or proper ending?
What do you mean by that?
Or not next week, in 2 weeks, the Marineford stuff. Should we do proper ending or...
Now, is there an actual difference in like the cinematics or whatever? You're talking about like, are you going to follow all of the steps that you use to get the trophy?
Right. Or should we show the outlandish, like, third part of that battle?
So, now I forget, because, I only did it the one time to get the trophy. Does that actually cut out the Akainu
Yeah. It cut.
fight?
Yeah.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess we should go full force and just do the fun little shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright,
it's worth showing off.
yeah, to clarify, we're not going to have an episode next week because it's Mother's Day. And
We'll be out of town.
yeah, he'll be out of town. I will be taking my mom out for dinner. So, this is dinner time for me, so it's not going to work out well.
Right.
Family before podcast. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, everybody spend times with your moms next week. Not on the internet, or the interwebs, or the interhighway.
None of those.
None of those. Correct.
Yes. So yeah, for those who are not aware or were confused by what we were talking about just a second ago, Marineford they made some changes to the Marineford story in order to accommodate the fact that you are playing a game and this is the last level, so you need to have a giant epic boss fight. And there's actually a series of steps that you can take that are fairly complicated. Like it would be hard, I think, to stumble across them on your own. But there are certain steps that you can take over the course of playing the level that will basically give you the real ending that follows the actual story in the manga, and there's a trophy for getting that. But since it's so over the top and so ridiculous what happens normally, I think we'll probably do that one.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah, because I don't think we want to spend another hour and do all of Marineford right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that in 2 weeks, but we are going to have a poll up, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it's already up. That will determine the next game that we play after Kaizoku Musou, or Pirate Warriors, or whatever you want to call it, really.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So let's see. Probably no extra coin, of course. Well, that was predictable. You know I'm not getting this coin next week, right?
No.
Well, of course not next week. I mean in 2 weeks. I have a lot of maxed out coins.
Yeah, you do. I never got a single one, but I didn't really spend any time playing on the higher difficulty. It was once I was this powerful.
Right. Alright, so that is where we will end it for today. We have 2 more levels left, which we will cover in 2 weeks. So,
yep, the grand finale.
Yes, are you excited to be getting towards the end of Kaizoku Musou?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I'm done with the game. I got all the trophies. I've played all I desire to play of it. But
yeah.
It's a nice last little look back. And of course, when it comes out in North America, I'm sure most of the people watching will have a chance to play it for themselves for the first time, and
right.
There'll be more interest rekindled, I think, in it. But for us early adopters, we've Musou'd ourselves out.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a dub, so I'm also really against it being digital only. I don't like the idea of having to download a full game and having it harbored on my PS3's hard drive. I'm not a big fan of that.
It's weird, and I don't know how many times or how often it is that you have a digital download of a full a retail game in terms of content that is only available as a download. I mean, you can get games on demand type stuff where you can download, Uncharted or whatever for, a decent price, but they don't usually have, full games like this that aren't like arcade style games.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it's a good decision. And I really do think that it may be the end of One Piece games in the U.S. because of their bad decisions.
Yeah, it's been an odd history as far as that goes. But who knows?
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
it'll get enough of those Dynasty Warriors fans, in addition to One Piece fans, to where they would be willing to try it out again.
Maybe.
But who knows?
But as far as One Piece goes, do you think that we may get like a Grand Battle 4?
I don't know, because I don't know what that development team is doing now, or if it's, if that's considered basically a dead series as far as Japan is concerned, or what.
Yeah, so someone asked if we're getting info on One Piece from Funimation soon. Well, I don't know. Just stay tuned, I guess. That's pretty much where that is.
We know they're working on it.
Yeah, we know they're working on it.
it.
We know they're working on it a lot. As we talked about last week, there was that video that showed that they were working on Water 7. So they are definitely getting through stuff. So I would not be surprised if we hear something soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, alright, so I guess to go over quickly, what did we lie about? But anyways, stuff that we have kind of going to be having on the poll, we're going to have options for Grand Battle. That'll be one of the options that people will be able to choose for us to play next. We also have Unlimited Adventure. We'll have Fighting for One Piece. We'll have Round the Land, which is another good one.
And you mentioned that you don't have stuff for the GameCube, like you need a new cable or something.
Yeah, I need a component cable for the GameCube or a converter for the GameCube. So once I get that, then I'll be able to put in Treasure Battle and Battle Stadium DON. But those are the only two for GameCube I have, so those will be absent from the bowl at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, on the news, someone just said on the news segment, and this is probably confusing for YouTubers, but on the news segment they remembered someone saying something about Funny giving info in the news segment. Was I even on for the news segment? If not, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, if they said that they're going to announce something in the next couple of weeks, then yeah, in the next couple of weeks. But
we are coming up onto summer, the convention season.
Yes, it is the convention season, so, I mean, the big cons are just around the corner, so maybe we'll hear something there. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up this episode. I guess, yeah. Anything else you want to add, Steven?
I don't know. I think some good discussion about movies. Now, maybe next time we'll be able to rope someone else in here to join us, like Ed did last episode.
Yeah, hopefully.
Which was fun.
I mean, that was fun, but yeah, we're getting into summer movies, so there may be a lot of movie talk in the upcoming episodes. Yeah. And if I do indeed see The Dark Knight, I'll be able to give my opinion, whether it's a popular or unpopular opinion.
Totally unbiased.
I do not know yet. Nah, if I'm going into a movie to generate an opinion, I go in an unbiased way. I have that way. And if you want to go to movie screenings and stuff like that, there's a few that I could recommend. First of all, advancedscreenings.com, which is ADVANCE screenings.com. So there's not advanced, just advancedscreenings.com. And then you could select the movie, and then the list, like, by state, like, all the places that are having movie screenings. And you could just, like, click your state, and it'll link to sites that are doing promotions or tell you the newspapers that are doing their promotions. So, yeah. Fun.
Check it out.
Check it out, yeah. Enjoy. I guess we were a little bit kind of tired this episode, so sorry about that. Not all here. It's been an insane couple of weeks, especially for us on the podcast, but we have some exciting things for you coming up. We'll have our Anime Central panel up soon as well. So
yeah, and I'm sure sometime in the next few weeks, next few episodes, we'll probably have the Volume 65 breakdown. I haven't got my hands on it yet, but I know Greg has it. And
do you mean Volume 66?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I said Volume 66.
Yeah. I actually was able to pick up the Volume 66. So, yeah. I'm also trying to get my hand on that One Piece Memories book, which has like interviews and stuff in like English and Japanese.
Right. Yeah. Greg had a bunch of posts on the Facebook page about that. Some cool bits of information.
Right. Well, anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining us. As always, you can visit OnePiecePodcast.com and listen to our audio episodes, our YouTube channel, which if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know, is OPP episodes, where we'll have our convention panels and Grand Line Gaming episodes. And then also on YouTube, go to Anime Fans Give Back, and you could start viewing the segments from Anime Fans Give Back to Japan as they get uploaded. So I guess for this episode, my name is Jason.
And my name is Steven.
And we shall see you all later. Take care.
Bye-bye.